Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Munsell. This is called Communicating Today. I've been on Channel 10 for a very long time, over 25 years. In fact, we're going to be doing show number 744 tonight, believe it or not. We're one of the longest running shows right here on Channel 10. We have a very, very special, wonderful, I think, terrific program for you tonight with this wonderful and nice gentleman sitting alongside of me over here. And I'll introduce him in a moment or so. But before we get started, I just want to let you know, for you, those of you who watch us on a regular basis, you know we come on 3 times every week. We come on every Wednesday evening in prime time at 8:30 p.m., every Friday morning for you early birds when you're driving to work and you may not be able to see my show because you're too busy texting and emailing while you're driving your car. And that's very dangerous because you shouldn't be doing that. You should be concentrating when you're driving. But a third time every week, every Sunday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. So 3 times every week, been doing it for a long, long time. But before we get on with our show for tonight, I just want to take a moment or so and dedicate this particular program, number 744, to my sweetheart Dolores Didi Munsell, who passed away a few years ago. And I miss her terribly. And as a matter of fact, we're putting her picture and my picture up on the screen right now. That's when we were in our 40s a few years ago. We've added a few more years since then, since that picture was taken, of course. But that's my sweetheart. Honey, we have a busy show to do, so we have to go back to the show. I'll be with you one of these days, sweetheart. But let me introduce my guest formally for you. My guest is, as I said before, this nice gentleman sitting alongside of me here. His name is Dr. Mohammed Hamzepour. Did I pronounce that right, Mohammed?
Yes, John.
May I call you Mohammed?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You can call me John.
That's right.
So we get very friendly here. And
that's fine.
He happens to be, his title is the chairman of a wonderful organization called the Iranian American Patriots. And he's the founder.
Yes.
And the current chairman.
Yes.
He's the boss of this wonderful organization, which is trying to bring back his wonderful, beautiful country of Iran. Iran or Iran?
Iran.
Iran is okay.
That's
okay.
right.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes, we are.
But his beautiful country of Iran, where he's originally from, was taken over many years ago by some very undesirable people, leftists or whatever you want to call them, and they turned his country upside down. And a lot of people fled the country, right, Mohammed?
Exactly.
And they went all over the place. A lot of them came here to the United States of America and have found refuge here. And they're trying to reorganize and come together. And they're trying to find a way that they can take their country back again.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully sometime soon, Mohammed.
Soon, that's right.
But you never know how many years it's going to take to do that. But I guess the first thing we ought to do, the first order of business, find out a little bit more about you. You're from Iran. And you were educated over there, and you went to school over there. What course of study did you take up when you went to school?
When I just went to school in Iran, it was course of studying of economics and sociology.
Economics?
That's right. And then when I just got a scholarship from just the government of Iran, came to this country, I got my PhD from University of Minnesota.
From Minnesota?
Minnesota. Yes.
And then you were on United States soil by that time.
That's right.
You became part of our country.
That's right.
The United States of America and Iran together.
That's right. Then I never thought that I can go back to my country.
Yeah.
Because I was preparing myself to go back to my country and serve my nation that actually desperately were looking and waiting for me. Unfortunately, that darky and murky revolution just, caused all of us, 1.7 million immigrants, just, escape from the country to United States. Altogether, 7 million Iranians just escape altogether from Iran during just, this revolution, this nasty revolution I call.
Ladies and gentlemen, this program tonight is all about a country trying to bring back its freedom and democracy, which was taken over by some very undesirable elements that run and control the country right now. And that's what this gentleman here, Mohammed, is all about. And that's why he started this wonderful organization, the Iranian American Patriots. How long ago did you start this organization?
2014. Actually, the time, to be exact, when President Trump, that time was just, candidate Trump, when he started to talk about just, he wanted to be a candidate, potential candidate as a president. So I've decided to really just go forward and just, establish this organization based on the patriotism. And especially the language was very strong from the man who just was always saying, American Patriots, American Patriots. Right. And then I realized that we as an Iranian, who actually are citizens of the United States, and just, for 40 some years, so we better just, go for that goal and just be parallel to his thought and belief that we have to fight with all this philosophy and ideas. This president is dedicating himself for his people and for anyone else who actually resided in this country as a foreigners.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we tried to do.
So President and now President Trump, Donald Trump, decided his theme, his message would be "Make America great again." And you're on the same track because you want to make Iran
again.
Great
that's right.
again.
Exactly.
That's why you started this organization. That's what you're all about.
Exactly.
And you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I'm so proud to have you on this program.
Thank you very much.
You're a fantastic guy.
Thank you.
When I first met you at the Brightview Nursing Home over in Great Falls, where I live, and there was a nice reception over there, and you and I got to talk a little bit, and I told you I was doing a TV show, which we're doing tonight, and you told me all about your wonderful Iranian American Patriot organization. I said, I think we ought to get you on our program one of these days and talk about this wonderful work that you do to salvage and bring back your beautiful country, which is an old country, which used to be called what? Persia.
Persia, that's right.
Long time ago. And
2,500 years ago.
2,500, that's an old. The United States of America is about 240 years.
That's right.
We're just a little drop in the bucket of you guys. 2,500
years ago. That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're the new generation of Iranians that are going to bring this country back again.
Exactly.
Its former glory.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody told me to mention something about a name from the Bible. There's a name of somebody by the name of Cyrus. And I'm not quite sure if I understand who Cyrus was. Is there some connection from somebody by the name of Cyrus?
That's right.
To the history of Persia?
Exactly. Cyrus the Great was the first king of kings.
First king of kings.
That's right.
Of Persia.
Of Persia, 2,500 years ago. He brought human rights, actually declaration, just, to his own people. And now we do have just, in United Nations, that message, we the people, that came from just a thought of Cyrus the Great. We the people.
I thought the United States invented that, but no.
No, that was Cyrus, and actually Thomas Jefferson just copied of just that message, and it was very strong message. And I'm very happy just he did that. Yeah. No, that message just came from just Cyrus the Great, and he was the king of kings. Actually, he just freed all those people who wanted just to be captured, Jewish people and non-Jewish individuals. So he really was the symbolic just of every individual in every part of their just time of their dynasty. He was one of those that actually never history can forget. And that's exactly what we are trying to go back to, the same philosophy and thought that he brought to us. Because we've been invaded 1,400 years ago by Islam, which was the nasty just let's say, invasion of our country with all high degree of civilization and culture. By
Islam.
That's right, by Islam. Yeah. And just, that's exactly what we are fighting for. Because, we just do strongly believe replacement of just, that can bring us back again to the same right written page of history. To just, show ourselves just, what is Persia? What is Iran that has been changed when the Reza Shah, just, the father of King Mohammed Reza Pahlavi, came to power and changed the name of Persia to Iran. We have to really introduce ourselves to all those outsiders, not to see us as terrorists, because the name of terrorist is something, when I just remember that when I wanted to go before the judge sometimes and represent a client, and I said, Your Honor, M.R. Hamzepour. And he was just asking me, what's the stand for? I said, Michael Ross Hamsburg, Your Honor. And he was just, saying, you're silly, get out of here. So what I'm trying to say, we couldn't just introduce ourselves very properly to anybody. We always were ashamed of just, when we do see that, invaders, that hostage taker, got our country, we just cannot identify ourselves very easily. We are Iranian. And I want to take back that identity. By any kind of force and belief, I'm going to take it one way or another, as long as I'm alive. And especially with this president. This president has his own just, thought and belief in his book. It says that just on page 37, clearly says, just, Iran before 100 years ago was the glory of country under the Shah's regime. And now turns out to be mullahcracy, just, captured that country and embarrassed that country that they are promising to everybody Israel won't be existed in 25 years. And all those just, philosophies of, let's say, fanaticism, just, made everybody unhappy these days. And just, that's why they are going to really just go away. And I'm sure that with our determination and with our struggle, that every minute of our life we are trying to do, we are going to replace that regime one way or another, John. I'm telling you. That's a promissory note to myself, to my people, signed, sealed, notarized,
so
with no shadow of doubt.
You started the Iranian American Patriot organization back in 2014, was it?
That's right.
How many members would you say you have, active members now?
Right now, just, according to just, the evidence that I have here, one organization, Radio Bidari, a station in Sweden, they're saying that we have 4 million listeners. And just especially under leadership of Dr. Mohammed Hamzepour, the Iranian American Patriots, chairman. So that's one letter of support, just, has been sent.
You said 40 million?
No, 4 million.
Oh, 4 million.
4 million.
Okay.
And just, about 120,000 Green Movement under supervision of Dr. Mohamed. He is just, acknowledging that facts and sending the letter of support for that. Another letter is coming soon by the Kurds, Sunnis, Dr. Hussein Bohr, who actually 25 million Sunnis are listening to our voice. And just, by the television of Kalameh, a station in London. So that's another just, patriots, Iranian patriots. They are listening to us, which means the messages these days are very clear. And they just know that for a fact. I'm not a pretentious character. What I'm saying, exactly coming from my heart. What I'm trying to really accomplish, I'm going to do it with no just, political words that is going to be somehow in suspicious just, position of everybody. Want to say when he comes to power, he want to just do that and that and that. No, it's very clear for everybody.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
History is replete, ladies and gentlemen, of many situations where people have lost their beloved country. It happened in Cuba when Castro came in many years ago and turned that country into a communist country. But the people of Cuba, they left the country and they came to Florida and they came to Miami and they reorganized and they formed different organizations, just like your Iranian American Patriots organization. And they said, we're going to take our country back. We want Cuba back, just like you want Iran back.
Exactly.
The same thing happened in France. When the French Revolution, when they lost their country to the wrong people to try to take over France, and there was a gigantic revolution, and the people of France, there was even a great movie and a play on Broadway that was about the people of Paris, and they took their country back, and it was a terrible revolution. And I don't know if that's going to result in maybe some kind of a revolution eventually, when people are going to try to go back to Iran and form an organization. Hopefully not with arms.
No, I'll tell you
hopefully
that.
Peacefully.
I'll tell you
and
that.
Take the country back again.
I'll tell you
and
that.
Bring it back to its former glory. It goes all the way back for 2,500 years, back to Persia. It's a beautiful country with a beautiful history, and wonderful guys like you. They're going to try to preserve that history and bring it back and make it come back to alive again. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Hold on one second. I just got the halfway signal. I got to take a quick break and go back to the camera to reintroduce the shows for you folks watching our program. Again, I'm John Munsell. This is called Communicating Today. We've been on Channel 10 for a very long time, over 25 years. We're doing show number 744 tonight with this wonderful guest, this wonderful gentleman that I'm so proud to have him on my show. He's Dr. Mohammed Hamzepour, who is the chairman and the founder of a terrific organization for his homeland, his beautiful Iran, formerly known as Persia 2,500 years ago, called the Iranian American Patriots. And he's going to try to bring take his country back again, just like the Cubans are trying, just like all these other people that have lost their country. They want to win the country back again. He's doing a fantastic job, and not only that, but he has a terrific sense of humor.
Thank you.
And he made me laugh before we started doing this show, and I'm so happy you're on my program,
Thank you.
Mohamed. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And so I also want to mention, too, folks, by the way, he has a wonderful website, because this is only a 28-minute show. We can't cover all the information we need to cover on this program. We could use an hour or two to talk about Iran and Persia and the things we're talking about. But he has a wonderful website, which happens to be, it's on the bottom of your screen about a half a dozen times during the course of our 28-minute show. In case you don't see it, bottom of your screen, www.IA-Patriots. The IA stands for Iranian American. IA-Patriots.org. If you get a chance to look at it, if you don't get all the information that we're trying to give you tonight, there's a lot more information on his terrific website. Now, let's go back here and find out. There's this terrible thing that's going on in the world today, Mohammed. It's called terrorism. And in fact, we're celebrating the 16th anniversary of 9/11 as we're taping this show tonight. That terrible time when those airplanes crashed into the World Trade Center in New York, one of the worst disasters in the history of the United States, after maybe, I don't know which was worse, Pearl Harbor when the Second World War began, or 9/11 in New York. But they were both terrible incidents. This is the 16th anniversary that we're doing the show, so I feel very honored that we were able to commemorate that terrible event by having you on our program tonight.
Thank you.
But this thing called terrorism is permeating now throughout the world, and it's a terrible thing that is going on in our world. And where did all this start from anyway? Who's mostly responsible for this terrible terrorism that's going on? And I mentioned the name of a couple of countries here: Pakistan, Iraq, and I mentioned Iran. A lot of people seem to point the finger at your country, Iran, that is causing a lot of the terrorism that's going on in the world today. They're funding it, they're promoting it, they're supporting it, and you're shaking your head like you agree with me.
No doubt about it.
What about Iran and terrorism?
Okay, that's a very good question. I think tonight, 9/11 is going to be kind of, let's say, lottery that I won tonight when you selected that night for this kind of subject. Terrorism, actually, just, everybody wanted to be upset when I wanted to talk about the country of mine that has been invaded by those terrorist organizations. That's why I don't call just, my country wanted to be part of it, except those people, cliques, who actually invaded my country.
They were taking over
That's
the
right.
country.
The mullahcracy or the mullahs who actually took over with the different identities. They just came from different part of the globe, and they just came to our country. Use just Islam as a vehicles of the kind of tools that they wanted to really take advantage of. So starting 1,000 years ago, let's just go back 1,000 years ago. The doctrine of Hassan al-Sabbah, who actually he was just trying to create terrorism in order to just infiltrate the Islam into ears and eyes of everybody all around the globe. What he did, one part of city of Qazvin, 40 kilometers from Tehran, he just cut the penis of 40,000 young ages. In order to do that,
cut the penis.
Cut the penis, because he wanted just to make sure that when you just do this, which means you have no desire for any kind of sexual relationship, and you're going to fulfill your task into the right direction of his goal, which actually wanted to spread all just his philosophy and doctrine of Islam. It started from that time, 1,000 years ago. After that, we just do have, at the time of Khomeini, the man who actually was the follower of Khomeini. And his name is Sheikh, his name is, let's say, here.
You got it in there somewhere.
No, here. His name is...
This is the father of Khomeini?
Yeah, that's right. Nawab Safavi.
Okay.
Nawab Safavi was the guy, he was one of the students of Khomeini, who actually under just, jihadis movement, he just tried to infiltrate his goals through the Ikhwanul Muslimin station in Egypt. And he just started to have that philosophy and doctrine of Hassan al-Sabbah 1,000 years ago to be exercised at the time of his life. So exactly what he did, he connected himself to Ikhwan al-Muslimin in Egypt, and then they coordinated their goals in order to sabotage just, all those people who wanted to be against them. Because they thought they can educate Islam by forcing anyone to accept it. Because today I have a bad news from one of just, the Ayatollah, who actually says, at the time of Shah Abbas, just, who was the king of that time, Safaviya. So he said that anybody wanted to be against Islam, their just body is going to be just, taken, to eat them without any hesitation. Which means he was educating people to eat the body of human being. Anybody want to be against their just thought and belief of Vilayat al-Faqih, which actually is the doctrine of Khomeini and his followers, Khamenei. So what I'm trying to tell you, terrorism started long time ago. And recently, at the time of Khomeini, was just trying to be established according to what Khomeini said. He said, Islam doesn't have any border. The border will start from everywhere.
Is the world.
It goes everywhere, from here to Australia. From
Islam covers the
five
world.
continents.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was trying to educate and just mastermind his just philosophy into the ears and eyes of everybody. And that's why we are trying to really fight with this philosophy of invasion of our country, with that culture and civilization that we produce to the world, and being embarrassed by these invaders. And I said, I remember that when I just was talking to one of the State Department officials, he was talking about 52 hostages. Right. I said, Michael, let me tell you that. If you had 52 hostages, I'm so sorry. But we have 88 million hostages under just these cliques of terror. Yeah. So we have to free them. We have to free them. That's our obligation. So that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Terrorism started, from Iran, not from Iraq, not from just Lebanon. They are coordinating right now. Right now, Iraq, Lebanon, southeast of Saudi Arabia, and Afghanistan, they're all supposed to be kind of, the sponsorship come from Iran. The university that they're trying, three just places in Iran, they just established a university for this terrorism. You can't believe it.
A university to promote terrorism.
That's right. They're educating. The name of that three university.
Educating the terrorists how to become better terrorists.
Exactly. The name of those is, let me just read it for you exactly. Imam Jafar Sadiq University. University of Safaviya in Mashhad, one of the south part of state of Khorasan. 200 other universities under the name of Al-Mustafa, all around the world, especially in Japan, USA, and Russia. This is what the country representing. This is what the country is proud of. The country, not Iran, those cliques I'm talking about. I'm going to separate those people, because we were believing secularism instead of just, being governed by religion. We believe strongly, we are exercising our organization, focusing on that under the Cyrus the Great, just, let's say, platform. We strongly believe it's supposed to be the secularism of our future government, with no shadow of doubt. We are going to exercise that. We are going to prove that. We know that for a fact. We can just go for that because people now understand why we are focusing on this issue more than before.
Wow, what a story! I'm so happy and so proud that you're on our program, Mohammed. It's starting this wonderful organization to bring your country back to the family of countries around the world, and establish a great history and a great tradition from Persia up through the Iranian country that you have today, and all the terrible things that have been going on where these nasty folks have tried to take over your country, just like the communists did in Cuba, and just like the communists did in Russia, And just like the people in France and all the other countries around the world that have experienced terrible situations where bad people have tried to come in and claim their country, and the people want to fight to bring their country and get that country back again, which is what you're all about. And I'm so proud of you, and you're doing such a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, this is only a 28-minute show, Mohamed, and I'm just getting the 1-minute warning, which means we got to start closing up. We got to get you to come back here another time to finish up this wonderful story.
I'll be an honor.
But I got to start closing. I want to thank you so much, Mohamed, for coming on our program. God bless you. The best of luck. Continue good work. We'll be praying for you, and we're on your side. 100%. United States of America and Iran. We're gonna win this thing together. That's for sure. I got to go back to the camera and close the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching our program. We always go out with our famous cliche saying, which is keep on communicating for success. And terrific guests like Dr. Mohammed Hamzepour, who is the chairman and the founder of a terrific organization called the Iranian American Patriots. And we got to do another show, Mohammed, sometime soon.
I'll be honored.
Come back and see us next week, folks, when we'll have another terrific show for you. Thanks for watching. God bless, and have a terrific week. Bye-bye.
God bless America.